Welcome to my channel. British Airways Flight 5390. British Airways Flight 5390 was a flight that departed from Birmingham Airport, United Kingdom on June 10, 1990. On board that day was Captain Timothy Lancaster, aged 42. He had 11,050 flight hours. Along with the captain was 39-year-old Alastair Atchinson. There were also 4 cabin crew members and 81 passengers on board. The aircraft had just taken off at around 8:20 that morning and had been climbing. Both pilots would release their seat belts and made themselves comfortable for what should have been a routine flight. The plane was about 17,300 feet, and the cabin crew were now getting ready for the meal service. Everything was going normally. Nigel Ogden was part of the cabin crew and entered the cockpit when all of a sudden he heard a loud bang. The left side windscreen panel had separated and all of a sudden it was chaos inside the cockpit. Captain Lancaster was sucked out of his seat from the decompression and shot out of the window head first. His knees got caught on the flight controls, but his upper body was now on the outside of the aircraft, exposed to the extreme weather conditions at that time. Nigel Ogden quickly grabbed hold of the captain, trying to make sure he didn't get sucked out of the cockpit completely. While this was happening, the rest of the cabin crew tried to reassure passengers and keep them calm. They were told to prepare to get into the brace position in case of an emergency landing. Alastair Atchinson quickly made a rapid descent so that they could get to a more suitable air pressure, and made a distress call to those on the ground. However, communication inside the cockpit was very difficult with all the wind noise. Nigel Ogden continued to hold tightly onto the captain to stop him flying out of the window. At the time they were not sure if the captain was even alive. Nigel became exhausted holding onto the captain, and other cabin crew members came in and took over from him. The crew did strongly believe that the captain could be dead, especially in the conditions outside the aircraft. However, they continued to hold onto the captain. They were afraid also if he did slip outside of the aircraft completely that he would strike the left engine and potentially damage it. They were given the clearance by air traffic control to make an emergency landing at Southampton Airport. After they had landed safely, they were amazed to find that Captain Lancaster was still alive. He had some fractures, frostbite, bruising and was in a state of shock, but he survived. Nigel Ogden had dislocated his shoulder and had frostbite to his face. It was later that the detached windscreen was found near Colesey, Oxfordshire. An investigation was launched to find out what had happened. It was during this investigation that they discovered the windscreen had been installed just 27 hours earlier. After closer inspection, they discovered that the bolts which had been used to hold the windscreen in place were much too small and short to do their job. Alarmingly, they would also discover that the previous windscreen had been fitted using the same bolts. They found that the shift maintenance manager responsible for installing the bolts had failed to follow British Airways policies. They also found that Birmingham Airport management were responsible for not directly monitoring the shift maintenance manager's working practices. Alastair Atchinson and 2 cabin crew, one of which was Nigel Ogden, were awarded the Queen's Commendation for valuable service in the air. Alastair Atchinson was also awarded the Polaris Award in 1992 for his bravery. The aircraft would be repaired and returned to service. Captain Lancaster would return back to work at British Airways. He would retire from British Airways in 2003, and go on to fly with EasyJet before retiring in 2008. Alastair Atchinson also retired from British Airways not long after Flight 5390, and joined Jet2.com, until his last flight on June 28, 2015. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel to view other content.